Here we are. Hello, hello. Okay. And as always, as people are collecting, let me make sure that I am live on Facebook and everything is set up correctly. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. So on Instagram, the topic. Okay. I don't like. Okay. So the topic today, typing it on Instagram. Did you consistently trust he would change? And he didn't, yet you stayed over and over. And now you're frustrated. Here is how to stop that post. And there we go. Okay. All right. Topic on Instagram is a go. Okay. If you are watching on Instagram, if you're watching on Facebook, what is good? Please let me know if you can hear me. Please type it in the comments. I believe my mic is on, but you know better than me because you are watching. So if you can hear me, please type I can hear you in the chat, in the comments. I always say chat like we're on Facebook Messenger or something. Okay. What up, Facebook? What up, Instagram? Here we go. Today's topic is, did you consistently trust he would change and he didn't, yet you stayed over and over and over again, trusting he would change. He doesn't. I'm sure that leaves you frustrated, right? So here's how to stop that. Today's topic is all about how to stop that. And I have a self-assessment, a single life health assessment that I want to walk you through, right? So then that way you can pinpoint ways to stop this situation and being in this cycle, because I call this a dysfunctional relationship cycle. You are dating different men, yet they end up the same. They may have different names, but the relationship is the same. It's probably because your single life, the healthiness of your single life, doesn't exist. Maybe you are on life support. So I'm going to take you through what I call your single life health assessment here on the screen. If you're on Facebook, you can see it. But if you are on Instagram, I may flip it a few times, but I do need to focus on presenting. So before we get to that, I want to introduce myself. What up? My name is Reka, and I'm a certified NLP life coach, AKA I have self-proclaimed myself as the single girls life coach. I'm the founder of Single You Academy and the host of Single You, the podcast. So what do I do as a life coach? Well, I'm not a dating coach. I don't call myself that. I'm a boundaries coach and a self-love coach. And specifically, what I do inside of Single You Academy with my clients is, listen, I help the professional, frustrated, loyal woman who is tired of giving second chances stop the cycle of trusting he will change by helping you learn how to set and keep boundaries with yourself and men. That is what is inside of Single You Academy, because I bet you've tried to set a boundary with a man, that one guy, the one guy that you actually like, right? You've probably dodged a lot of bullets when it comes to guys, but there's this one guy, right, that you actually like, and you try to set your boundaries. You're going in it with good intentions, but then you don't know how to keep the boundary, right? So you actually need somebody to help you hold yourself accountable to setting and keeping boundaries with yourself, actually, and men. So that's today's topic. That's who I am. Again, my name is Reka. And let's go ahead and get inside of the assessment. I'm pulling it up here. Again, if you want to watch on Facebook, if you want to go to the link in my bio so you can actually see the questions, I will read the questions to you. But if you want to see them here on Instagram, you are better off going to my Facebook page. So if you want to get to that, the link is in my bio, but it's facebook.com/Single You Academy. And that way you can see everything that's on the screen here. I'll show you. Here we go. All right. So what I want you to do right now is grab your like note app on your phone, or a pen and a piece of paper, because I'm going to be asking you a lot of questions. And my intention is to help you think, right? Because if you're in this cycle of dysfunction, trusting he will change, consistently trusting, he apologizes, but then he ends up never changing. And then you're in this constant cycle of frustration and why he won't change. You're probably asking yourself a lot of whys. Why? But if you are watching this and you're sticking around, I bet you're not asking the right kind of why. Okay. So I want to walk you through your single life health assessment here. Okay. All right. So, first question, and you can go ahead and be interactive if you want to type it in the comments. I would love to read your comments. I can see your comments. So the first question is on the screen, obviously. Have you been in a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months? Okay. Let me take this off. Have you been in a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months? All right. So that is the first question. And I promise you, like I said, these questions will help you understand why you're in this consistent cycle of trusting he will change, never does. You're super loyal to him, but you're super frustrated. Okay. All right. Next question. So I just asked you, have you been in a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months? And if you said yes, why do you call that relationship dysfunctional? Okay. And again, hopefully you got a pen out. And you're going to actually write this out as well. But I would love for you to be interactive because I want to help you diagnose the problem that you're having. Okay. So thank you for the support. And I think it's Megan. Yep. I see your yes. So then, Megan, why do you call that relationship dysfunctional? The relationship that you just thought of, why do you call it dysfunctional? I would love to know your answers. Some of it may be because you constantly are minimizing yourself. You are constantly navigating drama. Again, you're constantly trusting he will change. He apologizes, yet he never does. Or you ask him to change something and he starts an argument. Okay. Or he asks you to change something and he turns it around on you. Well, I do this because you made me. Okay. So I want you to think about if you've been in a relationship, a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months, why do you call it dysfunctional? Okay. All right. Next question. And what I would do as you're writing them down, maybe write down the questions so you can go back and ask yourself, later. So write down the questions as I'm asking them, as maybe you're writing down a 1-sentence answer. So then my next question is, has anyone had a conversation with you about what makes a healthy relationship versus unhealthy? Okay. I want you to think about this. Growing up, your parents, mentors, whatever. And this is not to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just asking a question. Okay. Has anyone had a conversation with you about what makes a healthy relationship versus an unhealthy relationship? And then when you're thinking about that, the next question you have to answer or to ask yourself is, how was that at your detriment? Okay. And then I'm going to read your comment, Megan, because I feel he doesn't give as much effort as I do in wanting to get better at things in our relationship. He always wants me to change things, and I do, but he doesn't see anything he needs to work on or change. So, Megan, I assume you're talking about a relationship you're in now, or was this a relationship that has ended? Okay. So, next question. What is the biggest obstacle for you when it comes to achieving the healthy relationship that you want? Okay. Because I believe we all want a healthy relationship, right? If I were to ask you, so what kind of relationship do you want, Megan? Do you want an unhealthy one or a healthy one? Of course, you're going to say healthy. Okay. But I truly believe that a lot of us don't know how to get that. You want a healthy relationship, but how do you get that? So, what is the biggest obstacle for you when it comes to achieving the healthy relationship that you want? Think about that. Is the obstacle you? Is the obstacle not even knowing the difference between a healthy relationship or versus dysfunctional? Like a healthy relationship versus dysfunctional? That's how that was supposed to come out. Okay. Is it him, society, parents, how you think about being single? Okay. So again, as I'm asking you these questions, if you would like to share, I would love to know your answers. Megan, thank you for sharing. It's your current relationship. Also write down the question so that after this live, because we'll be about maybe 40 more minutes, you can keep journaling these out, okay? Because again, this is my single life health assessment, your single life health assessment. And I believe single is not married. So whether you're dating or not, to me, you're still single, and to the law. So next question. What have you tried to achieve a healthy relationship with the man? What have you tried, right? Just going to show you the screen. Okay. Okay, Megan, you are married. Well, apparently this is touching a nerve for you. This is resonating with you. So I would love it if you continue on this journey with me in the next 30, 40 minutes to assess where you are in your relationship. Because I honestly think my message helps everybody. I just personally coach women who are single. All right, so what have you tried to achieve a healthy relationship with the man? Some of the options I put down here are advice from friends, good intentions, therapy, research, again, consistently trusting he will change. What have you actually tried to achieve a healthy relationship with the man? Okay. All right. So now, next question. What does your past relationship say about your choices in men? Okay. Maybe it's your current relationship, like Megan. But the first question that I asked you was, have you been in a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months? Okay. So now the question is, what does your past relationships say about your choices? Okay. So I want you to write down the answer, journal that out. Megan says to recognize my flaws or things I need to work on. Is that what you've tried, Megan? I assume you're saying that's what you've tried to achieve the healthy relationship you want. Okay, next question. All right. With all of the answers, with all of the questions and all of your answers, my question to you now is, so do you actually think that you know your worth then? Do you know your worth? Look at your answers and how you've been answering the questions. And so with your answers, would you say you know your worth or not? Okay. If you're just tuning in, today's topic is, and I'll put it back on the screen here on Facebook. Today's topic is, did you consistently trust he would change and he didn't, yet you stayed over and over, and now I bet you are frustrated. Here's how to stop that. So right now I'm walking you through your single life health assessment. And there's questions that I've been asking to get you to start thinking about your dating life, your single season, and all of that. Okay. So do you know your worth? Okay. Next question. The next question I want to ask you is because a lot of people always. So right now I'm actually going to play a video from one of my former clients. She's a graduate of Single U Academy. And this is where she was before Single U Academy. And I asked her, so do you actually know your worth? Because I walk all of my potential clients through these questions to see if I can help you in your situation, and stopping the cycle of dysfunctional relationships, actually learning how to set and keep boundaries. So this is a question that I asked her, and on Instagram, I'll flip the camera so you can see. Okay. And here we go. The next question I want to ask you is because a lot of people always ask me or say to us, and I'm sure you've heard this before, okay, well, why did you stay though? Yeah. And I may have said that before 2015. And it's coming from a seat of judgment because people assume that we should just know. Yeah. People think that we are baby birds, right? So when something like, yeah, when a bird has the baby and the baby, right? Yeah. That mama bird, once the bird is a few weeks older, will just push the baby out of the nest, and then it'll innately know how to fly. Right. People treat humans that way. Yes. Oh, you should just know. Like, you should just know. Which is not true, especially if you're not having the conversations. So let's talk about maybe some of the reasons why you did stay. Let's answer that question, not in a judgmental way. This is, you don't get to judge people for staying. But there are reasons why we do stay. And one of them is because we didn't know. But what are maybe some of the other things that you felt in this relationship? Like, okay, well, I'm going to try to work this out, I guess. Why did you stay?
Yeah, I think there's a couple reasons that previously were my kind of go-to answers. And then there's like the deeper, the deeper reason why. So
many layers, right?
Yeah. So I think at first it was really just like, wait, I know why I got married. Like, I believe in partnership. That's a big deal to me. I feel like I want to take that vow as seriously as possible. I'm doing my best. I feel like I'm giving it my all. I'm trying all of the things that I know to try to make this work. And I never thought I would be a woman who would stay with a man who'd cheat on me. Never thought that. I felt like once I was kind of late 30s and able to realize like this 100% wasn't about me because I'm learning about his issues, right. That was in a way that was helpful for me to kind of sort through it. Yeah. So there's that, but really though, like I'm rewinding it all the way because we were together for over a decade, right? So I stayed ignoring various red flags over 12 years because just like 12 years, are you kidding me? Because I don't think I had a great view of myself in the dating world, right? So I think I was a bomb ass student. I think I was a dope athlete. I think I was an amazing friend, a good family member, community member, like all of that. But when it came to what you always talk about, like our actual self-worth in a relationship, I think it was horrible. And there's a lot of reasons for that, but I think that's why I say, because I didn't really understand my own value to myself, to the world, like all of that. And I didn't know, okay, well, how can I get a better experience? Yeah. I felt like, well, to me, or up to this point, like he has all these qualities I'm supposed to be looking for. So maybe this is it for me, you know, like, oof. And I think this is the first time I'm admitting this out loud like this. So I think I just gave myself chills a little bit. I'm cringing a little bit, but that's what it was.
Well, and you know, and as I've always told you, we have to give ourselves grace for the things that we didn't know. And now that you know better, you'll do better, as Maya Angelou has always told us, right? And there's something that you said, and I was smiling, and it's not because, yes, I'm glad she went through that, but here's, I just want to prove a point again, because this is where I was as well. You think, a lot of us think we know our worth, right? Because and this is why my clients are the professional woman, because on one hand, you have it all together. You got we graduated from college, we got the career, we're paying our bills, even a mortgage, we got a good friendship group, and we have this side of it together, and so we're like, I'm dope, I'm worth it. I-N-D-E-P-E.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know my worth. I know my worth.
Yes.
And you have heard me say, and I've helped you discover this, no, you don't though.
Right.
No, you don't. Because it is in your boundaries that you show yourself you love yourself. It's in the boundaries. It's in the saying no. It is in listening to that gut feeling without needing tangible proof. Because some of us will stay, and maybe you did this when you, before you found out he cheated, you probably stayed, and let me know if this is a true statement.
Yeah.
I bet you stayed because, like you said, well, I'm supposed to want him,
right?
Because look at all his credentials and my credentials, they match.
Yeah.
So I'm supposed to stay in this relationship, and okay, maybe I have some gut feelings, but I don't have any tangible proof that this is a terrible relationship.
Yeah.
True
statement, and right? True. On top of other people are telling us how great our relationship is. So
the next question I want to ask you is because a lot of people...
Hold on. Okay. So now, after watching that, do you actually know your worth then? Right? Because I do ask a lot of women that question. In your relationship, in relationships, when it comes to yourself, when it comes to your singleness, do you actually know your worth? And you say things like, absolutely, yes, I do. And I would never, and I'm this, and I'm that. I argue that if you are letting a man walk all over you, if you are constantly minimizing yourself, constantly morphing into who he needs you to be or wants you to be, or who you think he wants you or needs you to be, if you're constantly frustrated, if you constantly feel like you're not seen in this relationship, then you do not know your worth. Not in the case studies I've done, not in the research that I've done, not in the coaching that I've done. Does that show me that you actually know your worth? Because when you do, then you're good at cutting things off when they are no longer feeding and making you be the best woman that you can be. When you're constantly feeling weighed down and anchored, that lets me know that you don't know your worth. Because if you did, then you would know that you are a woman who does not deserve to be weighed down and anchored. So I ask you again, the question that I asked before I played the video: do you actually know your worth? And now I have some questions I want to ask you, because I told you this is a single life health assessment. I want to see how your single life, how you think about being single, how healthy it is or how unhealthy it is. Okay. So these are the questions that I want to ask you. And again, I hope you have your notepad out and you are answering these questions. These are yes or no. And you give yourself a 2 if it's a no, a 5 if it's a maybe, and a 10 if it's a yes. So yes or no, do you believe in potential? Basically, have you fallen for his potential, who you want him to be? Do you also pass up red flags? And this is in relationships. Are you passing up red flags? How many times can you say you've passed up a red flag and you knew you shouldn't have? Do you bypass your gut feeling? I also call that your God voice. These are yes or no questions. Okay? And so when I want you to rate yourself, again, if you say no to these questions, you give yourself a 2. If it's maybe, you give yourself a 5. And if it's yes, you give yourself a 10. So do you believe in potential? A 10 for yes. Are you good at setting boundaries? Are you good at setting boundaries? Yes or no? All right. And let's go on to the next questions. How do you see love? Okay. So again, as you're journaling this out, I want you to actually write down the question too. So then after the live is over, after I'm gone, you can continue to ask yourself these questions. I want to know how you see love. Because when it comes to the women that I coach and who I was, when my last trash relationship ended, it was 2017. And then I went on this journey. I used to see love as this: I love him, so I'll keep trying with him. I believe it'll get better. So let me just continue to force the round peg in a square hole, or the round hole in a square peg, however that saying goes. So how do you see love? Okay. Because I see love as it's in my boundaries that I show myself I love myself. And when things are not serving me well, I know how to set a boundary and walk away. I don't have time to love you at my detriment. That's not love if I'm constantly feeling heavy and consistently trusting that you will change and then you don't. As Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe him. But I believe so much in your potential, so I'll stay, and then I'll be on this Ferris wheel in this cycle of dysfunction. So that's what I want to know. How do you see love, and how well is that working out for you? Because if you're in this constant cycle, I assume you are frustrated. Nobody likes this. You don't like this cycle. And it's honestly probably almost making you bitter, which I don't want for you. I don't want you to be bitter. And speaking of not being bitter, here's the next question. Who is the woman you want to be 6 months from now? Who is that woman? Who is she? How does she think about being single? Does she think single is a punishment? Because I'm here to tell you singleness is not a punishment, and that you are worthy regardless of your relationship status. So 6 months from now, how do you want to view love? Who is the woman you want to be? Do you want to be this woman in this cycle who's consistently trusting he will change, and he never does? Even though he apologizes, he says all the right things. Or maybe he doesn't, and he actually turns it on you, and then you're like, oh, I need to change then. That's what I would do. In my from 2015 to 2017, I lost my whole mind. And I was in a relationship where I was constantly trying to prove my worth to him. Look at me, I'm a good woman, so change for me. And every um, thing that he had that he didn't like about me or he would criticize, I would try to change for him. Is that the woman you want to be, or you want to be a totally different woman 6 months from now? I want you to think about that. Next question. When it comes to him, how often did you take him back? So remember, the first question that I asked you was, have you been in a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months? Did you say yes? And for some, you may be in that relationship right now. So how many times have you actually taken him back? How many times did you not follow your gut and break up with him, even though you kept feeling like you should? Because again, the topic is, did you consistently trust he would change and he didn't, yet you stayed over and over frustrated? And you wanted to break up with him, but you never did because you're like, oh, well, he said he would change. So you're consistently trusting he will change. How well is that working out for you? Okay. Next question. Again, I told you this is your single life health assessment. I want to see how healthy your thought process around being single and dating is, or how unhealthy it is. You may be going through this and you're like, wow, the way I think about single and love and dating is trash. And so, like I said, if you're in this consistent cycle of trusting he will change because you believe in potential, you pass up his red flags, you don't trust your gut, you're constantly minimizing yourself for him. How frustrated are you right now then? On a scale of 1 to 10, you got to be super frustrated, right? So that's what I would want to know. If you're consistently in this cycle of dysfunction with the man, how frustrated are you right now with dating? Are you on the verge of being bitter, but you don't want to, right? I know you don't want to be bitter. And you have to logically know that all men are not the same. So hopefully in this health assessment, in your single life health assessment that I've been walking you through the last 30 minutes, you are seeing that, oh, there's something wrong here. The way that I think about being single and dating, the way that I think about love is just, it may be skewed. It may be off. Desiree, what up, girl? Okay, so next question. How much did dating him affect your life in a negative way? How much of dating him affected your life in a negative way, like your mental health? Have you ever thought of that? So again, the first question that I asked you was, have you been in a dysfunctional relationship in the last 6 months? If you said yes, think again back. How much of dating him, how much did dating him affect your life in a negative way? Again, hopefully you have a pen and a piece of paper and you're writing these questions down. So even after the live is over, you can continue to think about this. Because what I want to do for you is hold up a mirror to you. Because I want to help you stop this cycle of dysfunction, of consistently trusting he will change and he never does. And the only way that I know to help you is to get you to start thinking about your choices. And speaking of your choices, so earlier I asked you, what have you tried to achieve a healthy relationship with a man, right? Advice from friends, good intentions. Here's what I mean by good intentions. You think because you go into every relationship with good intentions and you tell him this is what I want and this is what I expect and this is, I will not put up with this or whatever, that you're going to get that relationship because you told him. How well is that working out for you? Because how many times have you tried to enter a relationship like that and it didn't work out? Yeah, you tried to set a boundary, but you didn't keep it. And that's where you messed up. Because you wanted it to be him so badly. The moment he showed you who he was and showed you that it couldn't be him, that's when you should have walked. But you didn't, because the way you think of love is different than the way that I think of love. So what have you tried to achieve a healthy relationship with a man? Advice from friends, good intentions, maybe even therapy, research, trusting he will change. And he never does. So let me ask you this. How well is that working out for you? Not very well, right? if you're watching this, if you're on my platform and you know me being the single girl's life coach and my motto is singleness is not a punishment and you're worthy regardless of your relationship status, and you're watching this, it means that's not working out for you well. So don't you think it's time to try something different outside of what you've tried because it's not working? Because I am here to believe that you know what you want, but you don't know how to get it. I truly believe that. You know what you want. Again, if I asked you, do you want a healthy relationship or an unhealthy relationship? Of course you would say healthy. You just don't know how to get it. You know what you want, but you don't know how to get it. And you've tried advice from friends, good intentions, maybe even therapy, research. You be Googling how to make him fall in love with me or how to be a good woman or how to stop him from cheating. And then you're trusting he will change because he told you he would, but then he didn't. So again, how well is that working out for you? It sounds like you have to try something new, right? Because when I asked you earlier, who is the woman you want to be 6 months from now in the lane of being single, the way you think about being single, the way you think about love, in the lane of dating, in the lane of knowing your worth? Who is the woman you want to be 6 months from now? Because I guarantee you, you will not be her if you are trying the same thing over and over again. Advice from friends, good intentions, research, trusting he will change. Look at all your past relationships. Look at that relationship with him. None of those work. None of them worked for you. So if you want to be a different woman 6 months from now, don't you need to try something new? Because how will you get there? The woman you want to be 6 months from now, how will you get there if you don't try nothing new? And I'm going to tell you what I think you should try for sure, of course. But I'm just trying to get you to think. If a healthy relationship is what you want and you've never achieved that through getting advice from friends, through doing your own research, through good intentions, through maybe even therapy, because the reason why I bring up therapy, because therapy and a life coach, two different things. They could be the same thing, but most of my clients who have a therapist, they still sign up with me because there's something missing in therapy that isn't in this lane, because I am literally in this lane of helping you discover your worth so that you can stop the cycle of dysfunctional relationships. That is what I help you work on. Where your therapist may be focused on other areas of your life. And I believe that we should, I mean, you probably have a coach for working out or a Peloton, right? In different buckets, you may need to try different things. Okay. So I have more questions for you before I tell you what I think you should try. Obviously, I'm going to tell you to, a coach. So my next questions for you, and these are yes or no answers. Do you know who you are deeper than your favorite color is pink or my favorite color is blue? Can you actually say you know who you are, like your triggers, what you will and will not put up with, why you do the things that you do? Do you know what you want and how to get it? I'm willing to bet no for both of those. Because you want a healthy relationship, you don't know how to achieve it because you haven't gotten it yet. Do you have the audacity to believe you can get what you want? Or do you listen to society? You're too picky. You can't be 38 with no kids wanting to date a man with no kids because everybody has kids. That's what people tell me all the time. And I'm like, oh, really? So you've met every man on this planet. Awesome. Okay. So now I no longer listen to society and I have the audacity to believe that I can get what I want. And do you have the patience to wait for what you want? And then again, are you able to set and keep boundaries with that guy you like? Because I bet you there's a lot of men that you've dodged some bullets and you're like, I would never, and he's trash, and you dodge him and you ghost him. But that one guy you like that gives you the butterflies and makes you all tingly and gives you WAP, you do not know how to keep a boundary with him. And therefore, you let him walk all over you. So I want you to answer the question honestly. Be honest with yourself when I'm asking you these questions. This isn't why you don't need to lie. I'm not looking at your answers. I mean, obviously, if you want to share them, I want to hear them. But lying is not going to get you to the place that you actually want to be in a healthy relationship, loving yourself, loving your singleness, enjoying life. So here's some more questions. Are you confident in your single season? Or do you feel like you're in a holding period, you're in a waiting period, that something must be wrong with you because you're single? Or are you confident in your single season? And then are you confident with men? Meaning, I know how to set and keep boundaries with men, with the man that I like. Because a lot of men, I'm sure you can probably, I can set a lot of boundaries with men. But when I was in that relationship from 2015 to 2017, I lost my whole mind because I was so into it. And I was so, quote unquote, in love. Had my rose colored glasses on. Do you have a positive view of being single? Or do you think that being single, you're lacking something? People tell me all the time, well, I'm worried about you because you're single. Why? Why are you worried about me? All my bills is paid. I'm healthy. I'm dodging COVID left and right. I got the shot. Like, I'm good. Why are you worried about me? All because I'm single? That makes no sense. And so society puts that pressure on you. So then you have a negative view of being single. And now when you go to the barbecue at your family's function or whatever, you're pissed because everybody's asking you, where your man at? Where your kids at? Are you going to get married? Are you going to? So again, it gives you a negative view of being single. So do you have a clear understanding of what is healthy hard versus dysfunctional in relationships? Because yes, married people do say for some reason marriage is hard, but a lot of them don't mean the hard that you think. It doesn't mean he gets to cheat on you. Cheating isn't the cost to marriage. It doesn't mean that it needs to be emotionally heavy. No, you can actually have the relationship that you dream up in your mind. You can have it, but you have to have the audacity to believe that you can get it and the patience to wait for it. So for every no, give yourself a 2. For every maybe, give yourself a 5. For every yes, give yourself a 10. Again, this is your single life health assessment. So based on your score right now, how healthy is your single life? Okay. I literally want you to tally up your scores and I want you to send them to me. Now you can DM me or you can comment below. And if seeing your score, you're like, wow, if these questions have brought up something for you and you're like, wow, the way that I see singleness is trash. The way that I'm dating is trash. And I need some help. Because I'm willing to bet, again, if you're on my platform, you don't like your score. And the way that you think and date and you think about love is trash. And I bet you're tying your identity to men. So let me ask you, are you tying your identity to men? Has what you've tried in the past stopped you from being in a dysfunctional relationship? Again, has what you tried, so the advice from friends, the trusting he will change, the good intentions, the therapy, the research, Googling how to make a man fall in love, how to love a man correctly or whatever, how has that worked out for you? Has that actually helped you not be in a dysfunctional relationship? So what I want you to think about when I asked you the things that you've tried to stay out of a dysfunctional relationship, and then I ask you, how well is that working out for you? And it's not. I want you to try something different. And something different would be hiring a life coach, AKA me. So I'm going to talk to you real quick, these last 5 minutes, to tell you this. What's up, Tina? So if you're in this relationship and you're consistently, your past relationships, when you think about your past relationships, and you're consistently trusting he will change and he doesn't, you pass up red flags, you believe in potential, and you're just really like, why is my like professional life together? I'm paying all my bills. I got a good career. I'm super dope. But then my love life is trash. Why does that keep happening to me? If you're there and you're questioning that and you don't want to be bitter, because that's one thing I want you not to be, is bitter. And you don't want to be bitter, what I would suggest is to hire a life coach, is to join Single You Academy. Because that's what I do. I help you, the frustrated, loyal woman who is tired of giving second chances, stop the cycle of trusting that guy will change by helping you learn how to set and keep boundaries. Because ask yourself, how good are you at keeping a boundary with the man that you like? I'm not talking about all the other men you're not attracted to. I'm not talking about the man you ghosted. I'm not talking about the men who get on your nerves. I'm talking about that one who's so fine. You coasting along in your single life, and then he comes along and turns your whole life upside down because you don't know how to keep a boundary with him. That's the setting and keeping the boundaries that I will help you learn how to do. And I will help you discover your worth, because again, you think you know your worth because you're so professional and you're a good woman and you wear makeup every day and you get massages and I know my worth and I'm this and that, but yet you're letting this man treat you like trash. I would argue you do not know your worth. So again, if you want to stop the cycle of trusting he will change, trusting and giving second chance after third chance after fourth chance, and you're hitting your head against the wall when it comes to relationships, and you don't want to be bitter, and you want to discover your worth and learn how to set and keep boundaries with men, then I'm the coach for you. And so if you're interested in Single You Academy, if this resonated with you, if you went through the whole your single life health assessment and you're like, whoa, I am very unhealthy when it comes to how I think about dating, how I think about myself, how I think about love, then I want you to send me a DM. Or you can type boundaries in the comments, but send me a DM, because Single You Academy is open and the doors do close on September 12th. This is the first day. I'm going to be talking about Single You Academy for the next 3 weeks and enrolling new students. And so if you want to apply, if you want to have the conversation about Single You Academy, go ahead and send me a DM, especially on Instagram, because even if you do type in the chat, I won't be able to, once the live is over, I won't be able to see your comment. So if you're watching this in the replay and it's before September 12th, definitely you can either comment below or send me a DM right now. Okay, so we can get the ball rolling on your application, because I don't let everybody into Single You Academy. It's a certain type of woman that I let in, one that's ready to do the work, ready to look in the mirror, and ready to tell the truth. So if you're ready to be held accountable to the things that you say that you want, then I'm the coach for you. So go ahead and send me a DM. And as always, as I say to all the women, my DM is open. You can slide into my DMs. It's not going to be weird. I'm not going to be like, why are you in my DMs? And you can literally just say boundaries and I'll know what you mean. You just DM me boundaries right now and I'll be like, oh, she's interested in Single You Academy. So it won't be weird. And plus, you don't have to think of anything to say. You could just say boundaries and we can go from there. All right. With that, I will see you on tomorrow's live. Okay. We're going to have a whole nother discussion about this realm of stopping the cycle of dysfunctional relationships. If you have any questions, go ahead and send me a DM. And obviously, if you're interested in Single You Academy, I can't wait to hear from you. Bye.